This is Just Some Guy Named Jay, and we're talking with Tracy Lee. In this segment of the interview, this is kind of a standalone segment. We had to stop the tape and then kind of go back into it again, so it's not on the main interview. But Tracy Lee talks about the collaboration he did with the Notorious B.I.G. This is one of the last collaborations Notorious B.I.G. did before he was murdered. And Tracy Lee talks about his experience with recording with B.I.G. And he talks about the Keep Your Hands High record, and just talks about that whole experience. So definitely check out what he has to say. Before we go into that segment of the interview, though, I want to give some quick shout-outs. I want to give a shout-out to Shice DiBiase. Check out his single, Twerk. I want to give a shout-out to Diamond Royalty, who has 2 singles dropping September 30th. I want to give a shout-out to Some Kosher Yuppie. I want to give a shout out to And1. All 3 of those artists are on South Coast Records, Diamond Royalty, Some Kosher Yuppie, and And1. Also want to give a shout out to Consuming Fire Global Ministries, and want to give a shout out to Robin Lynn's Productions. All right, now let Tracy Lee tell you about what went on with him and the Notorious B.I.G. Now Tracy Lee, on your Many Faces album, you got 2 verses from Biggie on a joint called Keep Your Hands High. You know, and I heard there was an interesting story that went along with it. I mean, I'm not sure. I think back when he was on the record, because you're one of the last people to get a verse from Biggie before he passed away, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Go. Well, I was going to say one quick thing, and then take it away. It was something about he heard your verse, and he was like, nah, I can't go out like that. I got to step my verse, or something like that, right? Or how did that?
Yeah.
You tell it.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, first of all, shout out R.I.P. B.I.G. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest MCs that ever touched a microphone. You know what I mean? But it was an honor and privilege to even be in the same room with dude. You know what I mean? So, but what happened was, the story goes twofold. Mark had, basically to get us in the studio, Mark had to play him some stuff, you know what I'm saying, just so, Big stood the type of artist that I was, you know what I mean, because I'm sure he didn't want to get into the booth with somebody that, wasn't up to snuff. So Mark played him some joints, and he was like, he got it, you know what I'm saying? He definitely got it, but he also told Mark, playful way, but, just tell him to prepare to be number 2. Because we were dropping our albums in the same year. He's like, tell Trey to prepare to be number 2, because I'm, the number 1 spot is mine. So, gotta laugh out of it. So when we finally got in the studio, we sitting in there, and I actually got a brief of this story out there on YouTube. But we sitting in the booth, we drinking, and Big is rolling up as Big does when he gets, to put himself in a certain space when he's in the studio. Yeah. We talking, we drinking, we laughing, but so often he would kind of black out. You know what I mean? And you just see his body rolling to the beat, because the beat is playing all the while we talking and all that. Mm-hmm. So he would, do that, come back to the conversation. Do that, come back to the conversation. So this kind of lasted for about 8 hours. And then, like, at the 8th hour, he came, after all of that, he was like, all right, Trey, I'm ready. I said, ready for what? Because I didn't see a pen or a pad in his hand. You know what I'm saying? And at that particular time, I was writing with a pen and a pad, and I thought everybody else did. So he was like, nah. I said, where's your pen and your pad? He's like, I can't write it down. It confuses me. I said, okay, whatever. So then in the back of my mind, I'm like, is he just going to freestyle on this record? You know what I'm saying? After we just sat in here for 8 hours, why ain't he just jumping in and just freestyle it then when he first got in? But not understanding that he's writing it in his brain. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's his method. And coincidentally enough, that's how I do my joints now as well. Like, I don't really use pen and paper. And I think law school helped me out with that as well, because it's like so much stuff that you have to store in your memory in law school that now, writing a rhyme is nothing, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, he goes in there, and without a pen, without a paper, and at this time, he's in a wheelchair because he had just had an accident, things like that. Yeah. So he's sitting in the booth in a wheelchair, microphone down, and he just started running down these incredible F that, I preach it, but now I reach it, you know what I'm saying? So he does that, and I had already wrote like my first verse, and I was about to write the second verse, but after he did his, I was like, you know what, I'm not coming after that. And I had to leave, you know what I'm saying, to come back like a couple days later, and then spit, you know what I'm saying, after I had spit my verse and he spit his 2 bars, because I was supposed to end it, I couldn't end it another 4 bars that I had to put in between when I hit the 2 of his or whatever. But I couldn't do that part until after I heard him, because what he had laid down was just so incredible. It's like, I'm not spitting after that. So that was the story, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you for telling that story. I got to push that out, man. People got to know that, you know.
Yeah.
And people go back. I know they'll probably go back and check out the Many Faces after that too, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Keep your head high, man. Like that's the greatest, should I say, the greatest story never told. The biggest secret in hip hop, man. It's like people still are discovering that record 17 years later. Like, you know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah.